this episode, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We are going to be sharing our story simultaneously to give a bigger picture of what was going on in our lives during that time.
And today's episode is going to specifically talk about our time dating prior to getting married, how we got married, our church involvement during that time, and how all of those things played a role in working together.
Yeah. So we started dating, and we were very careful about, because we had both just come back from these internships where the purity culture was huge, no sex before marriage, holding hands was like max, maybe a kiss on the cheek. But you do things in public, so you don't start doing things in the private with your privates. That came out funny. But oh my God. So James actually wrote a set of guidelines for our relationship pretty early on.
Yeah.
Because we were writing each other
They
letters
taught us that
and
at the
stuff.
school.
They taught y'all to like set boundaries at the school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was things like, hey, don't hang out past 9.
Not when it's dark.
Yeah, don't do anything when it's dark. Like not crossing the lines a certain way. There was a few things on there. It wasn't like a huge list, but it was just like, okay, like, yeah, this will keep our relationship safe. We won't have sex. And
yeah, the big thing was don't have sex before marriage.
Yeah.
That was like the ultimate sin, where you were going to be condemned the rest of your
existence.
Marriage. Your marriage would never succeed.
I just saw that on Facebook. It said, like, if you have sex before marriage, this will end your relationship so quick. Like, it'll, your relationship won't last, is basically what it said. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, such a lie.
We actually took my mom out to eat, and you gave her that letter, and you're like, hey, we want to, like, be careful about our relationship. And you took her to Mansur's.
Mm-hmm.
And we signed the paper in front of her, and we were just so giddy because we were just so happy to be together. And my mom,
You say sign a paper. It was like a contract.
It was a contract with the things
that we
to
were
do or
going
to
to follow.
not do. And we both signed our name, and Lauren as a witness. He was in the car sales, so he knew we needed a witness. So
Looking back, that was so legalistic.
we signed the contract, and my mom actually was like, this is the kind of man I wanted you to marry. Like, she was so excited about James, loved him in the beginning, like doted on him, and was so excited to the point until later on. Yeah. So we started going to Life Point Church, which is a church my mom introduced me to. And oddly enough, your mom actually went to, also in Denham.
Yeah. So Life Point was this little small church in Denham Springs. I think we didn't want to go to Bethany because they weren't having like extended worship services there.
Kind of like Bethel. And
they weren't having prophecy. They weren't encouraging people to seek out visions and healing. And so we were at the schools that we were at. That's what we were taught was like being on fire for God, was seeking out all those different manifestations.
I didn't realize how big that was in Teen Mania, but that was like huge at IHOP. Like people waving flags, dancing during worship services.
Yeah, we would just have worship nights, and like people would walk around and like give written words and like words of knowledge and different stuff like that.
Yeah, prophecy was big there too. A lot of IHOP was affiliated with Bethel, so they kind of went back and forth.
So I was taught that was like the pinnacle of
Christianity. Yeah.
And Life Point.
Me too.
Yeah, Life Point culture, that type of environment. When you joined the worship team, did you feel like it was genuine?
Yeah, again, I was so naive, still, because I just hadn't experienced a lot of life.
Mm-hmm.
And because it wasn't the world, I just assumed like this is a safe place to trust people.
Yeah.
Like, it's the church. Like, they're not going to fuck me over.
I was the same way.
And so, but we were just so excited that we had each other, and I'm like hunching over. We had each other, and we found something that was similar to what we had experienced, or so we thought. So when they asked me to join the worship team, I was pretty excited because I knew I had to use my giftings and callings for God to be happy with me. I started hanging out with Sarah a little bit, it wasn't the pastor's daughter, but it was a leader's daughter there. So, and it wasn't a huge church. There was like maybe 50 people max with children.
Yeah.
So,
I remember the first service that we went to. Aaron Seal was there, and he prophesied over us, and Mike and all those people, and they basically told us that we were supposed to be in worship and me doing business and kind of the stuff that I was used to hearing by now from those type of environments.
It was still something that we looked for, like at least I did.
Yeah, I think I needed it to feel like I was on the right path, you know?
Yeah, I think so. Me as well. I craved people giving me words from the Lord or prophecies or saying like, you're so talented, like this is your gifting, like you're going to blah blah blah. So, but yeah, I felt like it was genuine for sure. How did you feel when they prophesied over us pretty much right away? Were you excited about that?
Yeah, it's interesting how that kind of stuff worked, because that's what I needed to feel seen by God at the moment. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it was that those people were using it for the right motive.
Yeah.
And that's something that I had to learn through pain.
Yeah. So we started going to this church, and they had Wednesday night services, which was not too odd for us, but they brought in a guest speaker who was like a father of the church, or like an overseer of the church, or something. Yeah. A prophet, bishop.
He called himself bishop, prophet.
Bishop, prophet, apostle. Lord Sudoku.
That man was straight evil.
Well, tell me about this man. Who was he, and like how did we get started with him?
Israel McGukin was a guy who would come in like once a month, and he would prophesy over the people in the church, and then he would receive a offering from the people, essentially for the prophecy.
Yeah.
And then he would teach people like this curriculum, and he would appoint he called them spiritual sons underneath him and daughters, and then he would cultivate those people that he saw potential in to be business owners and stuff, and then they would basically pay him like a life coach.
Yeah, that's the easiest and quickest way to put it. It's almost like in those movies from I would say the late 1800s, when they would come in carriage and horse, and then they would sell snake oil. They're like, see, buy the snake oil and your hair will grow. And like, or whatever it was. That's exactly how that man was. But he really took a liking to James. And
most prophets did.
Yeah.
Because they could see
money, Mr. Krabs.
Yeah. I found that most prophets in the church wanted to develop a relationship with me because they saw that I was going to be financially successful.
I believe
it's no different than fortune telling.
No, I believe people can see things, and like they can pick up on stuff. I think that's just in some people's nature.
Same way fortune tellers do.
Yeah.
It's just a medium that you can access if you cultivate that type of, you know.
And a lot of men kind of flock to you. I saw. It was weird. And like I remember it, like I could feel things. I didn't have words for what I was feeling, but I remember like Israel was put off by me. Like I was getting in the way of what he had in mind with you.
Yeah.
Like he pictured you with someone else. I
felt. I found out later that he was, because he invited me to his home to go stay there while he mentored me.
Which was something he did. Could you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, he did that pretty often, where he would invite people from the church to his home who were young men, and then he would have women from over in different parts of the world, like Africa, where he was from, come and stay at the house as well, and he would like matchmake people with women that he
saw fit for,
that he could influence.
The women were
gullible,
very gullible, and I mean, I was gullible, but it was like a different kind of. It was like they had no will, like their will was gone, almost like just.
And that's kind of what the church looks for, is women that are like 100% submissive. They won't say anything or talk back or.
Yeah.
And he saw that wasn't you.
That was not me at all.
All right, let's talk about the night where we met this girl named Laura, who was one of Israel's spiritual daughters.
Okay.
And you go ahead and tell that story.
So that night I was playing piano with Sarah at this Friday or Wednesday night service. And usually when those services went on, they continued on pretty late because that's just what you did, you know. So at the end of the service, I think I was cleaning up my piano stuff or just kind of helping pick up. And I saw James in the kitchen with this woman talking, and how she was looking at him, it made me feel jealousy immediately. But that was not uncommon for me at the time because of how insecure I was. But it still made me feel extremely uncomfortable. But James wasn't thinking anything of it. He was so excited, I guess, about what she was talking about. But I knew something was off with how she was talking with him. And I came up next to him, and James acknowledged me. But she didn't really acknowledge me, which made me feel weird again.
Mm-hmm.
Then after their conversation, she was like, I'm going to mingle a little bit more. But after, I want to talk to you in my car. Oh, you can come too. To me. And, oh God. And I was extremely put off by that again. So I, of course, was like, yeah, I'm coming. And after the conversation ended with everyone else, we met her in her car. And we started talking. Well, you sat in the front seat with her, and I sat in the back seat, which made me feel weird again. But again, not too surprising. But they started talking, and not maybe 10 minutes into the conversation, I felt this weird presence in the car, and I started shaking. And again, I really believe in the spiritual realm. So, I am very sensitive to things around me. And again, we relate it with mediums and like prophets in the church is what they call it. But I'm very sensitive to my surroundings. So when she started talking, I felt this nasty thing come in the car, and I started shaking, and I spoke up, and I said, hey guys, not trying to interrupt, but something's not right. And Laura looked back was like, oh, that's just the devil trying to scare you. And I felt it like the rest of the conversation. I was like shaking every now and then, but I wasn't cold. At the end of the conversation, once I got in the car with James, I felt better. But I remember not understanding why she was saying this was God and I would feel the devil, because that had happened to me a lot growing up, where I would be at a church service and people would be manifesting devils, and I would just start shaking because like I could feel whatever it was. And I was always right when that was happening, so why would I be wrong about that? And it brought a lot of confusion for me. So anyway, that was our interaction with her in the beginning.
Let's talk about our development and our relationship with Laura, and how she began to introduce those teachings to us that caused us to be more confused and deviate from the path that we had. Because I had proposed to you. I had gotten permission from your grandfather to marry, and we had planned to get married in August. So all this stuff was happening around, what would you say, like
October? Yeah, it was October.
Okay. So during all of this, Adam was living with me, and he started dating Caroline, who was your friend.
From college. I met her at Our Lady of the Lake College. Kind of cool then, but I saw something she posted on Facebook, so I reached out to her and we started hanging out because I didn't have many girlfriends at that point.
Yeah.
So.
So we started having worship sessions at the house, and I think Laura started coming to the house.
Yeah, she stayed in touch with you. Y'all texted back and forth. Like,
Yeah, which was kind of weird.
looking back now, yeah.
I know. I was so naive to anything. Like if somebody was like, "Oh, this is like the deeper truths about God
Yeah.
and prophecy," like I just didn't have any guard up at all. I would just
Yeah.
trust whatever they said.
And I just assumed that I needed to let go of my insecurities. But like obviously I was
Yeah.
feeling these things for a reason. I mean, anybody that's crossing a boundary, you should feel that way, you know?
What
So
What do you think? What was some of the stuff that she started teaching us? Because you remembered a lot more details about this. I'll chime in.
chime in whenever you think of something as well. The biggest thing that I remember her teaching about, which once you said it, I was like, oh yeah, was masturbating while thinking of Jesus or God.
Yeah.
Because he's the lover of your soul. So
We were supposed to be more intimate with God.
yeah, and so this was like another level of being intimate with Jesus, experiencing him in a sexual way.
It didn't start with that though. Like explain how.
I can go backwards if you want.
She started talking about our relationship with each other.
But she used an example of her and her boyfriend at the time. They're married now, but it was you could fantasize about your significant other because you're going to marry them. It's like you're married.
Mm-hmm.
So you can begin seeing them in the spiritual realm and doing sexual things with them. And it's like you're really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay because you're married. So her and Quentin would be doing the same things to each other in the spiritual realm, and they wouldn't even know it. I don't know how many, there's only so many things you can do, but I mean, they were all fantasizing the same thing, which was everything. So she started with that, I believe.
Then one meeting, it was like you could, during worship, you could levitate.
Oh, yeah.
I remember her teaching that.
I remember sitting on the couch, like, and trying to make it happen.
Uh-huh.
It did not.
No.
I did not levitate. My mind would keep wandering off, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That was another thing. And then you could meet with angelic beings. We started listening to a lot of teachings from.
She started giving us teachings to listen to. I remember that.
Like you could walk into another realm and you could take hold of deeds for your state and country and find missing keys, and you can unlock the angelic realm to save your souls. That is all true. All of that shit was true that I just said.
Yeah, I know. Well, by truth you mean it was
not literally true, but
what she explained to us. And she gave it to us in small doses, so it was palatable. And then she also played on our sexual desire, because we were trying to be abstinent before marriage, and it was like really hard. And we would like make out or something, and we'd be like, oh no, like we're gonna break the our like law that we had, and so we would stop talking.
Yes, I was gonna say we would not write each other or talk for 3 days as punishment, or like something
just
stupid like
very
that.
legalistic. And so she would play on those things, our like sexual desires, and then entice us with like, oh, it's okay for you to like, do this, and then like just continued on with that, to the point where she finally told us that it was okay to have sex before marriage. And she also taught us that
oral sex too. Like specifically, I remember her talking about oral sex a lot.
Yeah. So she just took it in like phases. And then eventually the last thing that she taught us was that a woman uh, believed by faith that she could be healed of her period, that she would stop having her
Like,
period.
why didn't we see this?
I don't know.
It's called a hysterectomy.
We were just so naive. I mean, like if anything was presented to us, it was that God said it. We were
Or
like,
by
oh.
faith. And like there would be scriptures that
She would
she
show us scriptures, and she would manipulate those scriptures to preach her points,
yeah.
and yeah. So
So I
we
prayed for
felt like
that.
we were like pioneering a new belief system, and it was going to be great,
Mm-hmm.
and we are like,
Well, we didn't know it wasn't right, but
yeah, we didn't know anything,
we didn't know nothing.
but we would soon learn.
Yeah. So we actually did something while we were on a trip away to a friend's wedding. We came back and told her about it, and she was super excited for us. But why would we tell this woman about our sexual life?
I don't know, because that's like that was the whole parameters of like the teachings, was like being
Keep going.
open with like what was going on sexually in your relationship.
While we were having worship nights, you'll remember this when I say it. I'll start with her. She would make these sexual moaning noises as if the Lord was touching her in a sexual way.
Yeah.
And then
Fucking weird.
she taught Caroline that.
Uh-huh.
And I remember being like, is anybody else hearing this? And then I'm like, God in heaven, like, why are these sexual noises happening around the man that I love? And it was just weird. So, like, I'm still picking up on this stuff, but I'm like, Jessica, you just are extremely jealous, and you need to learn to get over yourself and your fears of being left alone. So there was a lot of manipulation there, but so could you tell me about the night that the shadow came into our house? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so as we were experiencing all this stuff, we were seeing things like visions while we were worshiping and stuff, but at a certain point it started to turn dark. And I remember waking up one night and there being like shadows. I could see them like going through the house.
I saw him too.
Yeah. And I woke at this point. You had moved in with me.
Mm-hmm.
And Caroline had moved in with Adam.
Yeah.
And so all four of us were staying in this house. And so at a certain point, the shadows were going. So I woke them up and I was like, hey, like
Oh yeah.
we need to pray. Like the devil's trying to attack us. And then you started throwing up on the bed. You remember
Well,
that?
we came into the living room. You told him what was going on, and then the shadow like went into the
Bathroom, yeah.
yes, into the bathroom. And when I walked into the room, I started feeling numb all over, kind of like when you hit your funny bone, but like in a freakier way. And I started feeling numb all over my body and my eyes. Like I started losing my vision, and I
Mm-hmm.
began vomiting.
Yeah.
And we started praying, and then something else like that we learned was that you could turn demons into angels or something like that.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah. And we were experiencing the paranormal pretty regularly.
This stuff was also real.
Mm-hmm.
And we would experience quote unquote lighter times. I think like when we would play and we would just like it feel like peaceful. I don't know. It was such a weird thing.
It was a mixture, I think, between what we had really experienced with God versus what those people were teaching us. Because I over the years I've seen a pattern where when it was like just me or just you, and like we were in times where we were following our inner guide, like there was a lot of good things that are happening. And then like we would either go to church or there would be people like who are religious come around us and they would start like using prophecy or like trying to tell us different things that we needed to do or learn. And that's usually when the bad stuff would start coming in.
All that was pretty freaky for me, and that was stuff that I was usually afraid of growing up. But so we continued to pray that my period would stop, because that was something I really wanted. And so my period did stop. It did stop, James. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
I told you my period stopped. Uh, and I was like
After about a month.
hold on, I was 2 weeks late. And I was like, James, my period's not coming. Like, I have cramps and I'm just praying them away. And so I told Caroline, I was like, Caroline, this is real. Like, we can pray it away. And then a couple more weeks go by, and I'm like, James, my nipples hurt. And he said, oh, you're not having your period.
Yeah, because I had an abortion with Destiny, and I experienced like the first trimester of pregnancy and what it was like finding out, thinking that she wasn't gonna be pregnant because she had told me she was on birth control.
Yeah.
So I
You
was like,
told me.
nope, this is not.
I saw
like,
your
you're having a
face.
baby.
I said no.
I said,
And
we're having a baby.
yeah,
Because I was excited.
I wasn't disappointed that I was pregnant. I was just like, there was a lot of emotions that went into when you told me that, because I was like, I believed what?
Uh-huh.
So it just kind of led me to think, like, what else was wrong?
Yeah.
But I was actually excited about having a baby because I was always afraid of not having a family.
Yeah.
And to find out that I could have a baby, I was pretty ecstatic.
So I want to highlight that the reason why we were the way that we were was because how our parents raised us.
Yeah.
When it came to things pertaining to God, we only understood how to blindly follow our parents and what they said.
Yeah.
So we basically became adults and had no idea on what was good or
Common
bad or
sense.
good or bad. Yeah.
Just
So
following.
they like to like be upset. Well, not my family really, but mainly
Right.
your family likes to be
Right.
upset about the choices that we made early on, but we're a product of what they had raised. We had to figure out for ourselves as adults how to process uh life because we just weren't given the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. But we we learned.
Yeah, and we learned quick.
Yeah. But there's a lot more that goes into that. But um once we found out that I was pregnant and took the test, the I believe the first people we told were Adam and Caroline, which you said that Adam was like shocked and disappointed. I think Caroline was pretty happy from what I remember.
Yeah.
But then we told your brother and Hannah, and I told Hannah, like, look, I'm freaking out. My mom's gonna like flip the fuck out. And she's like, oh, I remember that feeling. Like, you do it whenever you're ready, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told James, I was like, look, we're going to do it in a certain order to give me the confidence to tell my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So we told Lauren first, James' mom, which she took it well. She's like, oh, okay, great. And then we told my dad and Dee Dee, and we also thought we were having twins at the time. So we told him, like, look, we believe we're having twins. This is a good thing. Like, this is God. And we tried to kind of explain what we believed. And my dad just like was like, okay. You know what? He was just supportive. He was probably thinking, like, I'm not getting in between this. They'll figure this shit out.
Uh-huh.
And we did, you know? But he was so supportive about the pregnancy. As soon as we found out what we were having, they bought all the stuff for Eden.
Yeah.
And then we told your dad and Mary. Well, I think just your dad. And he was like, all right, what are we going to do for dinner? And then we told my mom, and James had the idea, like, let's get some pizza and like just
Spend some time with them.
yeah, spend time with them. Again, we're 21 at this time. Like, we're thinking with the best of our abilities. Like, let's get some pizza, sit down with them, and like talk to them about what was going on.
Yeah.
So we got the pizza, brought it. They're sitting on the couch, just kind of dim in the room, and we were about to play a movie, and James said, "Okay, before the movie begins, we need to tell you guys something. Jessica's pregnant." And James was smiling while he's saying this, and uh, and my
It-
mom, like, I could tell. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, my mom says, "What?" She's, "How dare you set this whole thing up to make me believe we were watching a movie and spending time together, and you tell me this?"
How
And
could you tell this to me
yeah,
now?
how could you? Why now? Why would you tell this to me now? And James says, "I look, like, I know how you feel, son. You do not know how she feels.
That's John.
You don't know how she. Don't even say you know how she feels."
Uh,
These were pretty much the exact words
yeah.
burned into my membrane.
Yeah, because you feel such shame and condemnation.
My stomach dropped when they said that to me. I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
Because I said heck at the time. I said, "What the heck? Like, why is she so angry?"
And then they kicked us out. Get out of here.
"Get out now." And so we went on out. And I felt shamed and like embarrassed, but James was still pretty. You always had this joy about you. Like, you were still smiling. And you're
Uh,
like, "We left our pizza."
I did.
Yeah, because we had just got it from the Papa John's down the road.
We
You
were
were
so
like,
broke, we needed it.
so, and that's why we told it in the order we did.
Yeah.
Because we knew it was not going to be, well, at least I knew it wasn't going to be good. Because,
So tell me about whenever we told Adam and Caroline,
so,
because they were actually the first ones that we told.
yeah, we told them, and you said Adam was like kind of weirded out by it. I don't remember Caroline's reaction. I want to say she was like, "Oh, yay," or whatever, because she was just kind of go with the flow. Um, but we told Laura. Laura came over one night. I think you had invited her and said, "Hey, we have something to tell you." And then you said, "Jessica's pregnant." And I could see she got sick to her stomach. Like, she was like, "I fucked up." Like,
Yeah.
or these guys fucked up. Like, they did something like off or whatever.
Well, I want to highlight that you can see the progression from where the relationship started and what she taught us. Like, you can, uh, it's okay for you to uh, like masturbate and all that kind of stuff. She started with something that was like,
Everybody did.
yeah, like something, I guess it was common. And then she, like, each week, she slowly progressed it into something more and more intense until ultimately it led to a teaching that caused you to get pregnant. And then there was an obvious sign of like sin so that she could then condemn us, shame us, exile us.
Yeah.
And that's what she did. She told the prophet, I remember the Israel came up to me and was like,
On her wedding day.
yeah, it was on her wedding day. And he was like, "Well, I guess you're not my spiritual son anymore. It'd be best if you told me that." And like stuck his hand out and said, "Best of luck to you," and like shook my hand. And
He
then
made you say it, though.
yeah.
He made you say, "I don't want you to be my father anymore."
Yeah.
Like, breaking a contract or something like that.
Yeah, just
That shit
fucking
was so weird.
I know, like the control aspect of that and like the feeling, it just like is like heaping like feelings of condemnation on you and
Constantly.
yeah,
And she wasn't thrilled that we were at her wedding.
yeah,
And because that was like our best friend,
right.
like our leader. And she wasn't talking to us, but she kept talking to Adam and Caroline because it affected them. They started to not come to the house as much.
They started avoiding us.
Yeah.
And I think she counseled them basically um to stop hanging out with us because once we got married, um, Adam and Caroline said that we were getting married out of fear,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't God's will.
Yes, that was the words they used too. My grandfather told us we had a week to get married after he found out that I was pregnant, and told James we needed to figure it out. And we're like, look, it's going to take longer than a week because, like, the justice of peace, you got to, like, go through this process.
Yeah.
And so when we told them we were getting married, it was on the wedding day. We told them that we wanted them to sign our papers as, like, witnesses of us getting married. And on our wedding day,
Adam and Caroline.
And on the day of our wedding, I remember being outside in the other room, and
Let's cut. I want to go back to
my grandfather.
Yeah.